Some of them are Arcturian, some of them are Pleiadian. Right. And they got a couple of more lesser star systems that they inhabited.
You heard about the tall whites, and
then you have like the Procyon have the fullest color spectrum in they community, from pale face to almost imperceivable in the darkness of the sky black.
Right. You know, they come in this thing they call sleep. Where you can't move in your sleep, you're conscious.
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. I used to get it when I was young. My sons get it now. Eventually, I grew out of it. I don't know, somewhere in my 50s, 40s and 50s, I stopped having it. But when I was 17, I initially wanted to experience, I usually wake myself up, but I wanted to experience the full effect of it. And I tell you, man, I thought I saw what could be determined as a shiny one. I saw a form of a being that literally glittered, and it came to me. Scared the hell out of me, and I forced myself to wake up. I never did that again. But that is an experience that I experienced once. And it puts me in mind of where they talk about the gleaming ones or the shining ones. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah. And when you see them in the dream state, you normally looking at them in what's called the whole light form, meaning the light body, not their physical body. Most of us call the light body spirit or soul, right? But we keep believing that our body is who we is, and that we not using our body to express who we is. So we have access to information that's non-local. We can see things with the mind that the body, when you around it, you can't see it. Right? In the 3D form, you can't see but 1% of the light spectrum. That means 99% of the light spectrum. There's something going on over there, but you can't see it.
Right.
Right. And when you in the sleep state, you in fourth dimensional mind matrix. You can see more because you're using more of the mind in that state than you could if you was awake in your 3D body.
Exactly.
Right. So the psychic abilities is the higher senses of the spiritual self to perceive additional information that's not available by looking with the eyes, listening with the ears, smelling with the nose, or tasting with the tongue. But your higher senses can use your lower senses to translate the information for you if you understand how you talk to your higher self.
True that.
All right. Okay. Moving right along. Can you elaborate on the concept of Earth as a free will universe versus the Anunnaki restricted will universe?
In a restricted will universe, it's going to make it easier to understand the free will universe. In the restricted will universe, everybody had to follow what the rulers say, no matter what it is. Period. In the free will universe, you have the right to disassociate from anything that doesn't agree with who you are as a person. Right? So a person might come up and he might be wearing a jalabia and a turban, and then he want to tell you about Islam. I don't want to hear about Islam. Right? Or it might be a dude knocking on your door from Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints coming to propagate the church. I don't want to hear about what you got to say. Right? That's not my paradigm. I don't accept that paradigm. You can do that in the free will universe. In a restricted will universe, the ones with the authority is clearly identified, and you got to do what they say. So here.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
So here under free will, you have the right to plot your life out if you understand how to do it and follow the steps to make your best life. Right. But in a restricted will universe, it's like being in a permanent caste system. You only do what the leader tell you and you don't do nothing else.
But that can vary, right? Not just universally, but from country to country.
It can also, like in India, they have a caste system that's firmly fixed.
Right.
All right. Hold on, Apostle. I wanted to finish asking this question too.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted clarity on that.
When we talk about the Anunnakis, every time I look up the Anunnaki, it's always looking like a European man. The Anunnaki look European. Where's the Anunnaki women? How come we never talk about the women? Because if it was Anunnaki men who were giants, what about the women? Were they giants as well?
They talk about a lot of women in the tablets. They talk about a rich gal. They talk about Inanna. They talk about Ninti, Mamie. So they talk about them, but we so patriarchally oriented that we don't hear the female name when we talk about other stuff that's promoting the female gender. If it's propping up the feminine, the patriarchal, because part of the war is patriarchal over matriarchy, to subjugate the natural matriarchy out of Earth. The only way they can turn Earth into a restricted will universe is to win it by military conquest, or by all of the people on the planet, or the majority agreeing to go along with their restricted will dogma. Most of us don't want that stuff. Even the ones of us that don't agree with Rod Hayes, because you got a right not to agree. And anybody tell you got to agree with everything they say is trying to control you to your detriment, but they benefit. So,
go ahead.
Yeah.
The chief scientist was a female, wasn't she?
One of them.
Yeah. Insecure, or I know it's Enil's sister.
That was a Richka gal.
Yeah. She was the one. She was the one who first successfully carried the hybrid between Anunnaki and the Homo species that created us. She had physically carried that fetus, according to the story.
Yeah, he right.
Yeah,
that's what they say in the story. But they say that was Inanna that carried the baby, and she said, "Look, I have gave birth to the first man."
Right. Right.
If you're talking that side, you're on mute unless you're on the phone.
Yeah, I got you. How does the story of Abraham in the Bible relate to the Anunnaki? See, I want to keep it on the Anunnaki because that's what this is about. That's right. What the title is. So I want to get everything out of you that I could find out and learn about the Anunnaki. Now,
Abraham's point of origin becomes significant to the Anunnaki story because Abraham originated from Ur the Chaldees, right? And Ur the Chaldees is also an ancient city from the area of Babylon, Sumer, and Acadia. It's from that same geography. But Abraham, the name Abraham, Ab means heart in Kemet. Ra means the supreme deity. And Kim is Kim, which means the melanin or the black dot. So that they using an acronym to conceal something. Right. So his name went from Ab Ram, right, the heart of Ram, to the heart of Ra, the black god Kim. So that was the Chaldean connection is where you would see the closest connection to Abraham and Sumer.
Can you explain more about the Earthborn humans and their relationship to the stars?
We walk in stardust, right? Our spirit body is governed by one of them stars in the sky. Normally, in that little area where your zodiac sign is where your star is in the sky. The light from that star is expressed through your genome in communication with the earth and the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when your stardust form, your spirit body, you need a physical vessel to inhabit. Right? So your light body begin to look for a station to tune into, which we call it a genome code, a series of markers on the DNA that allows this particular light body to access this physical form.
All right, let me go to Neil Spite real quick. Neil Spite, man, do you have a question, brother?
Actually, I wanted to say peace to you, brother, Chief Pontiac. How you doing today?
Hey, brother, how you doing? I'm doing pretty fair for a square.
Right. So I had a 2-question and 1 statement.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Bro.
Okay. The first statement is, I'm from Detroit, and Chief Pontiac was a chief in Detroit, and it was a story about, that's where you get the Pontiac car and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a story about him that I believe he was fighting with the French, because Detroit originally was French, Detroit, and I think they was fighting against the English, and they were sitting at a powwow, whatever, eating, and whoever was the French or the English, they were like, "Oh, this is so good. What is this?" And Chief Pontiac said, "It's your British or your English brother." So he a cold piece, though. Man, hey, but that was
Big
my
Mama say
statement on.
turnabout fair play.
Huh?
Big Mama say turnabout is fair play.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I ain't mad at him. Yeah, hey, but listen, let me say on my statement, my question to you was, have you, and if you have, can you give us some information on which doctors call the junk DNA within a human's body? That DNA there, which would be like an extraterrestrial, they don't understand, like you say, the stardust, you just piggybacking off that. Would you say that the junk DNA they don't understand is the actual conscious level of something that you can tap into through like Ra'u Nefer Ahmed's meditations or Muada Ashby?
Your junk DNA is the DNA that was not firing codons. This was chemically blocked. It's not junk.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what the hell is junk DNA?
They call it that, but it's not. Yeah, go ahead.
His DNA was not activated. It's not active.
Right. And once you can activate that DNA though, but they don't want you to know how to activate it. You have something called Kriya Yoga that are activated, Egyptian Yoga, Muada Ashby, he know how to activate it. We got different secret societies that teach certain individuals that they know how to, they can control them. They teach them how to activate it so that they can exploit their gifts. Right? You got to remember, most of the secret societies is nothing more than handlers of people who don't know who they are, to try to prevent them from discovering who they are, but express all of their greatness from within so that somebody else outside of them can control it, which is a concept adopted from restricted will universe.
And my last question to you was, do you think there's some deep wisdom in the Meretic undeciphered script, the Meretic from Meroe?
It's wisdom in anything you read. But a lot of times the wisdom is not in the written, it's in the error. The wisdom come in the error as a Freudian slip of a piece of truth that they wasn't supposed to say.
And hopefully one day we can decipher that script. I yield the mic.
All right.
Right. Let me go on over here, brother Dizel. You got any more questions?
Yeah. I want to fire it up just a little bit because that my first question that I asked him, he was kind of politically correct on it. So let me frame it differently. So when it comes to people who follow certain faiths and certain gods, is it that, putting it together with the information that you're bringing concerning the Anunnaki, is it not probable that a Muslim or a Christian or Hebrew Israelite, they're not worshiping the actual Most High, the supreme being, that they're more likely worshiping one of these Anunnaki beings, because according to the stories, the Anunnaki chopped up the earth, and different ones, you know, own different sectors. Would that not line up better with why, you know, certain people thought that their God told them to go and conquer these people, take that land? Does that not sound like something that a being would want you to do? Not God, but a being that's more advanced than us, probably older than us, but still has personality traits similar to us. Does that not line up better with what we have a lot of conversations on, and when we find contradictions in the Bible, etc.? Can it be that all of this come from Anunnaki beings?
It's totally possible, because the reason why I say that is it is known from studying the genome that we have something called a worship gene. And the worship gene is the gene that make you look outside yourself for your source of validation of divinity. The real God, you can only get to the real God by going within yourself, because you are directly hardwired through your brainstem, through what's called reticular formation, black dot, as Dr. Richard Kling described it, in the base of the skull, that is tied directly to source, right? The intermediary between you and source is your higher frequency self. Your lower frequency self is the one that roam the earth and think it know everything, while your higher frequency self is trying to reveal the truth to your lower self, but you too busy looking for all of the validation from what we call lesser gods, or man-made gods, or gods that's men who made themselves into deified images, right? So you're not far off, brother.
So, all right, that's what I was wanting to hear. So, my brothers and sisters, when we have these conversations, and when Saw gets you in a corner and you can't answer certain things about why God wanted you to go break these people or kill these people, and you have to fall back on, well, God can do what he wants. Would it not be more logical to just realize that, dang, I was worshiping a lesser God, a simple being that's more advanced than I am, but it's not the overall Most High? Thank you, Brother Rod Hayes.
Creator of all is what we call it.
If it's true,
right.
my God would not want me to rape nobody.
All right, Apostle. All right, Apostle.
Come on, man, with that nonsense.
Does Brother Rod, does Nibiru exist? And what scholars besides Zechariah Extension believe in the planet Nibiru?
Nibiru is talked about in science as the 10th planet. It's called the Rilo 7. It got other names that the scientists gave it that's not Nibiru.
The blue planet. Right.
Yep. So when we talk about it now as Nibiru, yep, that's what Nibiru means, planet of the crossing. But when we call it the Nibiru, right, modern scientists have other names for it. So we believe that Zechariah Extension, Eric Von Daniken, Malachi York was heretics when they talked about it, but they're still in their science books. But they just don't call it by the name Nibiru.
They call it Planet X. They still looking for it, trying to figure out where is that.
I remember Steve Coakley was the first one I heard talk about Nibiru. How about you, Rod?
The first thing, I had a book called Gods, Clouds, and Extraterrestrials. The first place I read about them.
Oh, okay.
It's in the Bible. It's called Wormwood.
And being that you jumped out the window, Apostle, you got to stop this, man, when I'm up here, man, talking about God don't want you to grape nobody.
He don't.
Yes, he do. It's in your Bible, brother. In war, when you're in war, right? That's what you used to say. Hold up, stop for 1 minute. Stop for 1 minute. You say it's all right when you are in war. Remember, we've been saying this for damn near a whole year, and y'all excuse was, oh, well, we are in war. So if you capture your enemy and then you see a beautiful woman amongst them, you could take them home and lock them down for 30 days. Be quiet, let me finish. You can lock them down for 30 days and you can go into them after 30 days. Brother, that is first kidnapping. When you take them from where they was at to your place, that is kidnapping in today's world. And then when you go inside of them after you have killed her mother and her father, she have not welcomed you into her, brother. She's only afraid because she know she will be killed if you don't, she don't allow you. So yes, God, according to the Bible, does let the Israelites grape them. Well, let me finish. Does the Israelites, they do let the Israelites grape them. And I know it hurts. I know you're upset about it. So you can go ahead and lie on the scriptures all you want. I can pull it up and show it to you.
Yeah, but nowhere in that scripture does it says that the person that saw the damsel and found her to be attractive is the same one that killed her parents. It don't say that's the person. It says her parents died in battle.
Incorrect.
She has nobody. It does. It's not no incorrect.
Incorrect. I dare you to pull it up. I dare you to
pull it up.
Yeah.
You pull it up.
I dare you to pull it up.
It does not say
incorrect. It does.
It does not say that the person that finds the beautiful woman is the one that killed her mother and killed her father. It does not say that he forced himself on her.
Okay,
it
let me
not say. It says, and you desire her as a wife. You do not rape a wife.
Okay, all right. Apostle. Listen to me, being that you jumping out the window. Can that woman who have been taken from her household, can she refuse him going into her? Yes or no? Yeah. Can she say no? See, damn, you can't even keep it real, man.
He can say no.
On, brother.
I'm not saying even keep it real, brother. He's going to listen to her.
You can't even keep it real, man.
But she can say no.
No, she can't.
She can.
All right. Let me move on. Is she, hold on, watch this. Is she a prisoner of war, Apostle?
She's a prisoner of war.
Can a slave say no? Hold on, stop answering me. Answer me. Can a slave say no to her, to the man who's trying to come on to her and rape her?
She can say no. It don't mean he's going to listen. She
all right,
say no.
So that mean is what? It's called what? If he take it, what is it called?
If you take it, that don't say you are.
You can't even say it, brother.
She's
look at
accepting it.
I'm gonna move on.
She is accepting it.
Okay. No, she's not. Let me move on.
No, according to
I bet you won't pull it up though. I guarantee you won't pull that up. It's in the book of Deuteronomy. 10.
I can't pull it up.
Yeah, I know. Let me go on over to the portion.